Welcome back to ESL Challenger League here for North America. I'm Darth Mike. This is JRT. We're going to be bringing you the action tonight, and we've got a matchup between Boss and Elevate on the docket here. John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks, Mike. And honestly, this one should be interesting, right? Both of these teams went to the Americas RMR. Both unfortunately struggled. I mean, there was a little bit of success at one point for Boss, who defeated MIBR, but they couldn't succeed in getting to the major, of course. And the same for Elevate. They actually didn't win any of their series. They lost to Audic in a tight 1-1-2, and then were eliminated 0-2. So it's very similar stories for these two teams over the last little bit.
Yeah, but both these teams not able to compete with their expected full complement for different reasons. So let's take a look at the schedule for tonight, get a sense of what we've got going on here, because there is another game going on. There's actually several games going on, but over on the B stream, you can watch NRG versus Might. But we are finally, it seems, John, getting into the thick of things this season. There are 4 games tonight. 5 games tonight. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot.
5 games tonight. As in addition to NRG Might, there is Nouns taking on Party Astronauts, Mythic taking on Limitless, and Wildcard taking on Lag. It seems we've reached the classic point in the season where everyone remembers that they do in fact have to get all their games done before the end of the season.
Yes, exactly. I mean, look, a lot of things have calmed down for NA as well. A lot of qualifiers are over. A lot of teams, unfortunately, had their hearts broken at the RMR. So now they're back here in North America, and they're playing Challenger League and getting a lot of matches under their belts. And I think it's going to be good to see, see where all these teams are, right, in comparison to each other. We've seen a lot of them jump up and down, above and below, and have some success here and there. Elevate now, in particular, had a lot of success. I would say in the qualifier for the Blast Premier Spring Showdown, and they defeated Boss, Nouns, NRG, and Wildcard to qualify for that, which is like 4 top teams. So I don't know where they're going to fall. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, though.
Yeah, and I mean, let's talk about these rosters again, because Elevate's a good place to jump off. In the RMR, they were unable to compete with Dia. They had NBG stepping in, who, while he actually acquitted himself substantially better than I expected, is not what you would expect from a player of Dia's caliber. Dia has been their top performer since joining, bar none. Very blatantly and obviously, head of the table. And unfortunately, due to a situation where he had a passport stolen, he was unable to leave the country until that was replaced. So very unfortunate for Elevate that wound up happening. But they will have Dia now that they're back on home soil, now that they're back online. And that should be a massive firepower boost to this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's obviously kind of a shame that Dia wasn't able to compete in the RMR. NBG, I mean, it was okay in that situation.
He did well, man.
I was impressed as well. I looked at his stats like, yeah, it's not too bad. I obviously watched him as well. But I mean, look, it's still tough for Dia not to be there, because he is their opper. He's the one that they look towards to do the fragging, especially over that last little bit, like you mentioned, since he joined up. Used to be with the Fluffy Aimers. Peeping was as well, and they were in their rookie seasons with the Fluffy Aimers, and they were just plucked away by Elevate. And I think that it was a very, very good decision to take these two. They were the star power that I was looking at when I was enjoying watching those Fluffy Aimers matches. And man, oh man, like that just bolsters the chances for this roster moving forward.
They certainly have. Looking at the other side, it's Ponalone who's come in to fill the gap, the void left by Cynic. And Ponalone, bringing in a lot of experience, a lot of veterancy in that opping role. I think that's something that helps this Boss roster. They're a young team. They've got some great ideas. They've got some great growth, but they're a team that has looked to their newer additions to level themselves up, right? First, it was Wolfie in the aftermath of leaving Wildcard, then Cynic coming in, and now Ponalone coming in as well to give that experience, that structure, a little bit of advice from someone who's been there, done that a little bit, as this team, a very young team, looks to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Ponalone, like you said, a leadership role that he's kind of trying to fill in right now for sure. We can't forget, though, of course, that Boss did make the finals last season in ECL season 46. They unfortunately didn't do well in those finals, but they made it there, and it was really exciting watching them on their journey. I think the journey was more exciting than the end match in that final match, but still, Cryptic was a revelation in terms of IGLing and fragging. That kind of fell off the map a little bit, unfortunately, though. He hasn't really been able to frag as well since that point, so maybe we'll see that come through a little bit. And you had Brett, who is finally finding finding his rhythm with this squad. He had his struggles, his ups and downs, more downs than ups, to be honest with you. But finally, he is on that rise, and he's a player to keep an eye on.
That he certainly is. That he certainly is. And I mean, this is a boss roster as well that'll have the chance to compete in ESL Pro League, which is very exciting. That's just around the corner now. Kind of wild to see. But let's take a look at the Veto that we have for this matchup. It's reminder, the format this season, it's two BO1s. These are two isolated BO1s that have nothing to do with each other. Well, except that you can't pick the map from the first one in the second. So they kind of do have something to do with each other. These Vetos are really confusing to explain, frankly. But the way we've gotten to this one, we got the bans, we got the pick. The pick is Ancient. We're going to be playing Ancient first up, and then I guess we'll see what the Veto gets to on the second run here, John.
Yeah, I'm guessing Vertigo will be the next one because looking at their map pools are very similar in terms of the maps they like to play. But anyway, look, Ancient obviously is going to be the one we were going to end up on. Both teams, it's their best map. 14 games played for Boss on this one. 6 and 8, though. They've struggled lately quite heavily. And I think that's due to the competition they were up against, right? They have a 3-game losing streak there, lost 6 of their last 8. The Liquid was there in the mix, Party Astronauts. Liquid, I think, once. And then, of course, I'm slipping my mind right now. M80 as well, I believe they lost there. So a lot of tough competition. Hasn't been as good as it needed to be. Over on the Elevate side, though, it's been excellent, 9-3, and they've done very well against their North American competition.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting one on a pick, right? Because it felt like there was an iteration of this boss roster that was very competent on Ancient. I'm thinking back to their last run up to Pro League with Wolfie and Toe. But yeah, it's been a little lacking of late. So it's almost like you kind of wonder whether there's a false confidence from remembering that they were good on this map and maybe they haven't quite hit that stride just yet, or if it's something that they've been working on, that they've been putting time on, knowing that it needs to be a strong map in their pool. It's also just kind of unfortunately where this Veto takes them against a team like Elevate. But I mean, we know Elevate. This is comfortable ground for them. They like an Ancient, don't they, John?
Oh, they absolutely do. Like I said, best map in the pool, 9-3 over the last 3 months, plus 29 round differential. Last time they played it was up against Audic, in fact, in that RMR, and they won 13-10. That was the map they took. That was a really tightly contested series. Dare and NBG were the top frags in that map with 19. And honestly, this is a map that they'll feel comfortable on at any level. So personally, I feel like they're going to have the edge here.
We'll see if they do. We'll see if they do.
And they're my pick.
Yeah, I was taking Boss, but honestly, we didn't know the maps at those points. I think Ancient probably does tilt a little bit towards Elevate, but it's tough to read. I think it's pretty neutral territory. We'll get a good sense of where these two teams are at.
Yeah, and I mean, you were talking about Boss feeling comfortable in Ancient. I think Ancient and Vertigo are two maps that Wolfie kind of helped them learn a little bit. I think they were mentioning that. I know Vertigo for sure. Ancient Wolfie is very solid on, was one of their top performers on that map when they had that crazy run on Ancient. So yeah, it's interesting to see how this how it's really slipped away for them over the last little bit. Maybe they've had time to practice. Maybe things are looking better. Integrating Ponalone into the roster is probably settling itself in a little bit more now as time has gone on, and we'll see. It'll definitely be interesting. But like you said, Mike, edge definitely goes to Elevate.
One would expect, based on the Veto, based on the map, based on what we're going to get there. Who's your player to watch? Who are you looking at in this matchup for who you want? Oh, well, we've already got it. We've been told. It is Dia. Dia's the guy we got to keep an eye on here, John.
Absolutely. Look, Dia turned heads on Fluffy Aimers, and he's done even more than that since joining Elevate. In the 4 maps they've played, it's not much, small sample size, but still, he's got 85 frags already, plus 26 kill to death differential, and an 89.5 ADR, which are very, very solid stats. His op frags looking at 27 of his 85 frags are with the AWP, and 0.28 op frags per round, which is pretty solid, along with a 1.34 rating. So he's been one of the better players on this roster.
He shoots good. He shoots strong. He shoots hard. And that is something that we're going to need to see them overcome over on the Boss side. One of the things that we really enjoy watching from Boss, I enjoy watching. I think you do as well, John. I'll speak for both of us here.
Sure.
The pistols. They've got a ton of creativity into the pistols, and in just BO1s in MR12, that can be such an impact factor, right? And they've always seemed to have a little bit of a clever ruse, a little bit of a clever stratagem, and especially up against an Elevate team that has put a fair chunk of Ancient on the docket recently. You know they're going to have something cooked up. You know between Cryptic and Axe, they're going to have some sort of an idea cooked up to counter some of Elevate's strats and counter what we'll see in the pistol. So that's what I'm most excited for, genuinely, to start this out, is to just see what's Cryptic been cooking, man. Because it always feels like he's got a little something spicy in the pistol.
Yeah, he's one of those IGLs that definitely keeps things interesting on pistol rounds. You're not wrong about that. We saw it throughout the playoffs last season. Every single time we had some crazy pistol rounds coming through. Was there one on Overpass that I'm remembering where they were just completely faking them out? By trying to go to the B side? They had one player playing B, and they just played it like they were gonna go B, and then completely went the other direction. It was really quite something.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
My memory's not that good for specificity, but
No
I'll
worries,
take
no
your
worries.
word for it. But we should be hopping in the server here in just a few moments, folks. If you had to guess here, so I know you're predicting Elevate on this map. If you had to guess at the round, what are we getting here?
I am going to say 13-9 in favor of Elevate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reasonable. I'm going 13-11 boss.
Okay.
I'm feeling a close game. I'm feeling a tight one. You know, maybe a 16-14. Maybe we get the OT. Maybe we slip one in there, John. You know, we're starting late tonight, so we might as well bring it late. If you're wondering about the later start time, the answer is an interesting one, which is that daylight savings time is out of sync between EU and NA.
That's right.
And apparently the scheduling gets bumped back an hour for that as well. So, you know, just a nice late night ESL Challenger League sesh here, John.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's always fun to go for those late nights. I mean, to be honest with you, Mike, I remember we've gone into the 2-3 a.m. at one point with some of the BO3s that we had with OTs. And it's been crazy. So this one, we'll see.
Let's not bring that one in. Let's not start us off on that, John.
Yes.
Keep your cursed magic away from this. It is a Tuesday night, though. You know, I don't think there's anything that CS should be updating right now. They do have this little thing called the Major at the end of the weekend, but some people were hoping they'd finally fix the clipping glitch. So, you know, maybe we'll get that locked in right here Tuesday night.
That would be nice for sure. Just it's tough to see all of the bugs on full display at the Major, and you're just like, oh my god, why are these rounds happening? Oh, let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Poor Fame and Jame, man. Ooh, those are some tough ones. Look, it's a new game. It's a new game. There's some bugs. There's some glitches. Speaking of a new game, let's talk about the old game. John, have you had a chance to watch the Red Bull documentary yet?
No, I did not. I was too busy preparing for this one, to be honest.
It is well worth a watch. I threw it up on the television, sat down on the couch, and went through it. It's about an hour and a half, and I would recommend to anyone watching right now. That's from Tom Diablo Newman, was creative producer or whatever you want to call it. He made it. It's good. It's great. If you're someone, I mean, for me, part of it was, you know, reliving memories that I share as a spectator, and some of it was even new information to me. So it was really a delight to watch some of the most storied names in Counter-Strike relive their memories from Global Offensive. It was quite touching. Something that I think every Counter-Strike fan should genuinely watch. Can wholeheartedly recommend.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out. No question. I just saw it pop up and I was like, nope, don't have time for this right now. I want to watch it, but
you're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's like literally like if someone made that for like 1999 CS, it would just be, you would be the target audience.
Fair enough.
But either way, I know you're going to love it. It's beautifully done. Really beautifully done. Inspiring to see what this game has meant to so many. And now we're going to find out what this map is going to mean to about however many of us are watching it right now. Because it's time to hop in. It's time to hop into the server. It's ancient between Elevate and Boss.
So we jump in here. Birds singing away as we jump right on into round number 1. Peeping along with Dia, grouped up together, the two newest players to this roster. Not so new now, they've been here for 3 months, but they're going to jump out and try to get into the action. Freshie is going to go down to 22. He gets squished, and then again by Shane. So 5v4 in favor of Elevate. Cryptic's going to get one back at the very least. Alone looking for some action. He's going to find it, but he gets a bullet to the dome. And now Shane cleans out Cryptic. 4v2 for Elevate.
Oh, they don't clear it. No, Brett! Oh, no! Oh, that's a backbreaker. Great patience from Brett. Just can't bring it in on the trigger finger. That is going to be Elevate taking the pistol. Look, that one maybe a little less wildly creative, shall we say, from Boss. Yeah. A little bit of a more straightforward attempted crunch on B main. I like the idea, but Elevate do a good job of dispatching it. So well steadied, well held from Elevate, and consequential pistol round.
Yeah, and Elevate obviously are going to look really comfortable in Ancient. Even if 3 players came from pretty much the exact same angle, even 4, I would say. Elevate took care of business and only lost 1, maybe 2 players, if I recall. So here they go. Dare going to jump in. Cave going to get tossed. Cave going to get nade tossed into it, excuse me. Freshy and Darty, and along with Pun Alone, they're just trying to sneak down this ramp. Why not try something? It doesn't work at all, but hey, look, it's the effort that counts. 3K for Shane.
You think those USP shots are playing in Brett's head?
Cool.
I don't know that he would have been able to totally turn the tide, but, you know, obviously in your head, you're visualizing it. And you're like, all right, tap 2 here as they go into Donut. Swing on the 3rd as he walks in mid. 3 kills. Boom, I've won the pistol round. You can visualize it. And then, I mean, pistol headshots sometimes, especially with their back turned. Oh, man, those betray you. Playing in my head, John. Look at all the nades. Look at all the HEs. 5 HEs. That's a priority purchase. What are they going to do with these? In towards elbow early. No one's there for those. But here we go. B main. The ramp hits. Oh, could be good. But Darty actually didn't pin pull on his. Pwn alone will connect. So the HEs are finding impact. They're finding damage. A losing Pwn alone is going to make this retake difficult. Cryptic will keep the numbers even. Molotov will force him back. Needs to wait for his teammates to get into the angle. Do they want to try and fight B main? Or do they just want to take it Cave? Well, they'll take it towards the ramp, and Brett will now be all on his lonesome. Teammates lost. Let's see if he can pull this off. Upgrade to the AK. The smoke he goes. Oh my goodness, the headshot! But Dia, through the smoke, will keep that dream from coming true.
Oh, man, what an effort by Brett. I talked about kind of his time now, right? He's been playing so very well, and looking at his stats over the last month, he is the clutch performer for them, at least in terms of multi-kill rounds. 19 of them in only 13 maps of play, including 2 4Ks and an ace. Another multi-kill there, only 2 in that one, but almost able to pull off the 1v3 clutch kill. Just a bit short and Elevate take a critical one. And the 3-0 lead in their favor. Now Boss going to be stuck on the eco. It's going to be a 5-7. Make that 2 5-7s. AKs across the board, though. This is going to be a tough ask with Boss. They like to get cheeky. We already talked about it. And they're going to push 4 players down mid.
I don't mind this. Offset expectations, but peeping. Ooh, gonna keep it right to expectation. Nicely done. Without a smoke in towards elbow, you're always going to be running a massive risk. You're gambling. And peeping shows why the house always wins. Nice 4-piece put together for peeping as well. It's a snappy start here. And Elevate, I mean, they have just not really shown much struggle in these first 4 rounds, right? They've shrugged off much of what Boss have tried to throw at them. And now you've got tons of cash in the bank. This is the first real gun right out from Boss, without any limitations, without the FAMAS, without anything along those lines. And you've got a massive cushion to fall back on for Elevate.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Peeping and Dia, the 2 newest additions, are kind of doing their thing. Shane as well with 5 frags of Peeping at the top with 9. One player we haven't really spoken about yet, but has been ridiculous in the first 4 maps of play this season, is Dare. 86 frags, 98 ADR, and 13 3-kill plus rounds. Brett's going to get the opener here. Dia trades a couple back here, and we have a 3v3 before Pwn alone gives his team the edge with the AWP, and then Freshy and Darty end it. Wow, that was fast. They just popped out around lane, found the last 2, and that was it. Talking a little bit more about Dare right there. I kind of rushed through it, but yeah, 13 3-kill plus rounds in only 4 maps played is literally insane. Just for comparison purposes, Pwn alone in 13 maps has 14 3-kill plus rounds, which is only one more than Dare in 4. It's really, really something else.
Speaking of Dare, man nearly burnt alive.
Yeah.
Trying to get on the other side of this Molotov. Taking a big risk here, and well, that's going to be a good result for the utility. They won't really know it, but look at this heavy lean right now from Boss. 4 players on the B side of the map. They're just putting all the pressure onto Pwn alone to not just hold on towards mid, but A as well. I mean, it's a good read. It's a good lean, because Elevate has 0 intentions towards the A side of the map, at least for the moment. Still just now. Ooh, do they want to pop this smoke? Do they want to brave it or just play on the fade? A re-smoke up means that's not going to be an option. But they can get closer. That one was thrown a little shallow. But trying to pressure. Well, it's forced them back out of cave. There hasn't really been any presence to actually pull this rotation. There's just one smoke in mid. A little bit of pressure from the elbow. And it's pulled 2 players out of this B stack.
That's
big kill.
Yeah, that's a big kill. I was surprised as well that they rotated 2 players off just because of the smoke that was thrown, but I guess they felt like something was coming through, even though it isn't. Yeah, they're coming back to B.
This is big. This is big. That one kill stalls them out enough. Freshy's a little bit committed, but he's still going to deliver. Nicely done. Just the walk up. The dry contact swinging out. He's got teammates to support. They're trying to dig out Freshy, but they have to commit so many resources that they're not checking Cryptic, and well, that's a problem. This is looking like a shutdown now, unless Peeping can say something else about it. 13 seconds. There's no time. The bomb's rotating. The bomb cannot... There's not enough time for that. So Dare is, in fact, just saving. Peeping, trying to get a little bit more information in there. But the full intention here was to keep this off alive into the next.
Yeah, no, there was no chance that Dare
I was looking at it, I was like, man, A's empty. Wait, there's 10 seconds. That does not work.
No, does not compute. Boss doing a great job, though, you know, on that B side. I thought for a second it could be vulnerable because we mentioned they had a couple players rotated off, but they quickly readjusted. They sent 4 players back in defense of it as soon as they realized what was going on, that there was no presence around mid, and denied pretty much anything from Elevate aside from a 2K from Peeping, and that was it. So a second round in a row, they're starting to get their rhythm a little bit, which is good to see. On the Elevate side, they still have plenty of cash. Well, I say plenty. They have enough to get a full buy-up of rifles. It will be 2 Galils in the mix, and you are missing a good chunk of utility. Well, we'll see if it's enough for them to get through and find a way into this W column in this round. Cryptic.
Look at this. I always get a little wary when teams leave the bomb back here by elbow. That's a nice start for Cryptic, but look at Freshy.
Yeah.
Freshy's the key piece here. They're gonna have to come back and challenge this, and now Freshy has shown them the error of their ways. He's got to be wondering as well, why are you coming back, right? Why are you coming back? And at this point, I think he's seen bomb. He's got full awareness, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure if he's seen it yet.
I think he has. It
It's
might
on
be
the
under
ramp,
the
right?
hill.
So
He's got the right read that they could be coming spawn. Oh, turns at the worst moment. Still 1 HP for Shane. They have stalled this out quite a bit. And Elevate are bringing this back towards B. Dia, that's a big miss. Had an opportunity to thin the herd. Seeing the open cave, they're already starting to float the 4th player in towards mid, which will allow them to rotate extra bodies on towards site. And they're not playing together. I mean, they don't have much to work with at this point, but what they're working with is a save.
yeah,
Dia tries to keep the op.
He's got to get this op out of the round. He's going to try. 15 seconds to save. Luckily for him, Freshy's already been dealt with, because that would have been even more problematic if he's trying to save and Freshy's pressuring towards T-spawn. But he should be able to take this op out of the round. The problem is, it's 3 in a row for Boss. And you're right, Mike. When you leave the bomb on the bottom of that hill, you know, towards T-spawn, it's always a risk, right? Because even if a player isn't looking for that, right, he's just pushing through from A main, which Freshy was doing, you still have to come back and get that bomb, and oftentimes you're coming back from elbow and mid to try and retrieve it, and then that player intersects you, and of course you saw what happened. Freshy gets the frag and then starts to realize, wait, why on earth was he coming back in this direction? And then I think he might see the bomb, or at least have an idea that the bomb is there, because, right, it was at the bottom of the hill, so I'm not entirely sure. Either way, look, Boss gets the round. It's well played, and Elevate are stuck onto pistols aside from the saved AWP.
I'm liking what we're seeing from Boss early on here. It's
yeah.
It's why I think we enjoy watching these Boss games so much. They're very proactive, right? They're going forward. We've seen 3 different varieties of aggression here. We've seen the B main aggression. We've seen the mid aggression. We saw the A main aggression in that last round. They like to gamble. They like to hedge their bets. This round's a little more vanilla. Yeah, you do have a bit of space allowed on A, but that's just to set up a stronger mid presence. This is the 1-2-2. Bit more standard order, but it's up against an eco, so it does make sense to do that as well. Ooh, the boost up from Dia could be cheeky. Was that spotted? I think he was still shifting into position. There it is. There's the punish. Freshie didn't know. A lot's going to be on Brett here. He struck from this position once before. This time he's going to try and have Ponalone make contact. There's the swing. There's the shot. Only one. Not good enough. Although, actually, if they get forced back in towards B, they're a little wary of how much face they've shown here. Oh, the cheeky boost. Cheeky slide. Ponalone, does he realize the op's now on the angle? Can't risk this. And actually a need to get him out of the spot. Well done. Oh, the timing on that peak. Dia was scoped in to make sure there wasn't a cave push, and he gets struck down from the ramp. Now the cleanup's starting to come through. It's just going to be Shane, and Ponalone's got this red like a coloring book. But unfortunately, he's run out of crayons. Bomb's going to go down. A 1-on-2 retake. No armor on Shane makes this really tough, John.
Well, I mean, you have Cryptic and Darty coming in from the exact same angle, so they're hoping to double swing Shane and get the trade. But Shane's already tucked himself into Donut, so that's going to make it even more difficult for them to find him. I mean, look, does he have util? No, so that's going to make it problematic for him to hold on to the bomb. But he just has to get one here. He does not. So there it is. Great job. Yeah, the aim punch, of course, hurt him without having the body armor, but Cryptic will get the frag. The Fusel goes to Darty, and Boss have got 4 in a row and plenty of cash to absorb the casualties into this round.
It is a good bomb plant, though. It is a good bomb plant. It was a really tough situation. You know, getting that bomb down, getting something out of it does give you a little bit more to work with. Curious to see what Boss toss in here now against this next rifle round. I'm curious. I don't know if we talked about this with Cryptic yet. We've had like 1 or 2 interview chances with him. I'm curious who he looks to as IGLing inspiration, right? Because I would say some of the stuff that we see from Boss feels heroic-esque, I would say. Cadian-esque, I guess, in terms of the calling style of that old heroic roster, where they do like to go for a lot of the leans. They do like to go for a lot of the predictive gambling. And I mean, certainly against Elevate right now, it's not that crazy to be making these reads, because Elevate have started 4B at minimum, I think, in most of these rounds. Good kill. Snav spots the next. Careful on the swing here. Smoke gonna go down, but they're gonna go through it. Pressure on. And Darty's down as well. And Elevate, they've kicked down this door so many times. And now the door is swinging back. Freshie's still here. That's the beauty of the stack. You kill 3 players in cave. You think, surely we got a path in. But no, there's just one more. Freshie, ready to swing. Ready to make it happen. With Ponalone in mid. Which way do you want to go?
You know, Freshie and Darty were that 1-2 punch for Boss back in the playoffs, along with Cryptic, right, performing out of his mind as the IGL, fragging IGL. But they went silent as of late. Last 3 months, there hasn't really been much for Freshie and Darty, so I'm hoping, at least for their sakes, that in this season they'll be able to find their form again. And you see there Freshie with a critical 2K to bring things back and make them possible. 20 seconds left on the clock. Elevate might have the plan here at B. Freshie's in a pretty good spot at the ramp.
Nice
There's
shot.
One.
Ooh, Tia fakes it, but Freshie's not buying what he's selling. Out of bullets! Out of bullets! No. Oh no! The molly doesn't spread, but the nade will do the trick.
Wow. Wow, what a little sequence there from Boss to secure things. Freshie manages to isolate the last player by finding a third frag on the round for himself, but then I think Freshie ran out of bullets. I'm pretty sure Dia, was it Dia the last one? Anyway, either way, the last player in Elevate thought that the frag came through and stopped firing. Wasn't running out of bullets, just stopped firing because he was convinced that the frag had happened. It didn't, and he's like, oh, wait, what the hell? So he pulls out the gun again and does manage to finish off the job, but the nade from Ponalone is perfect, and that does it. 5th round in a row for Boss. And I mean, that round isn't won without Freshie's heroics earlier on in the round either.
No, certainly not. He took them right to the precipice, and then Ponalone just hucked some nades. I do like the idea. Molly to cover half of the potential plant spots. You know the guy's so low. Nade to cover everything else. There was no getting away from that. All he had to do was force him off the plant once, and he was out of time. They're forcing this double cave setup. And once again, Elevate is going to try their hands at a full B take.
I mean, I'm guessing Boss watched some tape or something because they've been leaning B heavily pretty much every single round, but so has Elevate. So
apparently, you only need to watch a few rounds of tape because they got a full quiver, but it's all with the same arrow.
Yeah.
There's the first. Oh, the trade is good, though. Uh-oh. The swing for the Tech-9 just tough to deal with, and now Boss is in trouble. Look, sometimes the same arrow will work just fine. 2-on-2. Ball needs to be planted. That's the problem. Brett, what a peek. And now Shane put on notice, just trying to get this force down to dirt. He'll be able to do so. Didn't want to run out of time this time. But he gets no further. 6 rounds secured for Boss. And this is now 6 in a row.
This feels like playoff Boss to me from ECL Season 46, right? Everyone is performing well, doing their job. There isn't really necessarily a standout player that's needed to carry the load. It's just absolutely perfect CS from them. Darty, on the other hand, is struggling a little bit, but it doesn't matter. He's had his key moments as well. And the team has 6 rounds in a row. I say perfect, I mean the last 6 rounds. The first 4, obviously, Elevate were able to read them pretty well, winning off that pistol and converting, but then Boss has been so timely aggressive at the right moments. Brett, gonna toss that Molotov. Critical one to throw at the beginning of any round of Ancient on your CT side. And then the smoke followed up. Just keeps that quick rush out to mid at bay. Ponalone, waiting, watching. He's been pretty solid when called upon. Looking to hit another op shot if anyone tries to sneak around this smoke, but as it stands, Elevate are being a little patient. Dia gets caught. Yep, thought that might happen. He was waiting, jiggling around, and the smoke faded. Ponalone capitalized. Snap's been spotted as well. Does a little bit of damage on Darty, but he has to fade away from that position because he is isolated as the lurker.
Swinging in towards the mid. That was bold from Ponalone. Didn't want to get stuck in by the nades, but he will lose his life. Has to deal with that. They threw into Red Room. This is going to be difficult. Cryptic coming back in to clear it out. Maybe over facing, not just holding the angle. But the trade available. Brett can't quite seal the deal. Still, it's even numbers. This one's feeling a little panicky. What a shot hit from Freshie. Wow. Heat turned up. But Freshie feeling cool in the kitchen. And I don't know what Darty was looking at there, but the crosshair strays at the wrong moment. And so we have a 2-on-2. Freshie is on the wrong side of the map to do anything about this. Good flashbang, and it's all going to need to be Fresh, and he's got a lot of ground to cover to even get back into this clutch.
Yeah, I think Darty was just adjusting to go and take long B.
Saving for this last round. Not trying it, John.
Freshie's going to save. I was just talking about Darty. Yeah, he had already thought that no one was going to come out from cave at that moment, so he was thinking about going all the way around and repositioning himself and just got caught in transition. A bit of a shame. But Elevate are finally going to end this round win streak for Boss at 6 as they get their 5th on the board. It is a costly round for them, but that won't be too big of a deal because it's T-side and they got the bomb plan and 2 AKs, so they'll be fine heading into the final round of this half. Freshie saves the op, which actually is really important for Boss's economy, right? He can drop an A1S and also buy one for himself, so they should have a pretty strong buy-up after all is said and done here. Maybe Util will be a little limited, but yeah. That 6-round win streak certainly helping.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think Elevate are philosophers. Really just one philosophy, though, which is if at first you don't succeed, try again. But here comes the change-up pitch. Okay,
going, hey.
Hold on. Not only are they not doing B presence early, they're doing no B presence. There's no B presence at all. They've got nothing here. It's a full A take. Seems like it's going to be a pretty straightforward one. Brett on the angle right now. Smoke could be timely. Are there flashbangs for this? There's got to be, right? But actually, they're funneling back. Having thrown a ton of util towards A, they're shifting back in towards mid. The op's not here. Where is the op? In towards cave instead.
Huh.
Now, with the deep ramp control, this could work out. Freshie's going to have to do a lot of work here in Donut. One would imagine. They're setting up to wrap in there. But actually, having lost the A main presence, this could be a window play. I think this is all to pull them. No, surely not. They're getting no resistance. But if they get Snav through, things get... No, they're going back into B. This is
I was going to say, it's going to be B.
Play. It's actually all just a fake. They threw so much util just to set up a play in towards B. Oh my goodness. Cryptic trades himself out off the MP9. Darty's under pressure here. With the A main control they've now got, they need to shift around. The problem is, can they get here in time to help out their teammates? And the answer to that is, I think, going to be a fad. No, they're bailing.
What?
Oh my goodness. They're bailing.
Snav,
and Freshie could have this all. Freshie could have this all. No, he's a little too late to spot them. And Brett's now lost. It's chaos on. It's pandemonium. There's 9 seconds. There's no time to spare. If that bomb got caught in mid, it was over. But it's work. Elevate. Leaving themselves no margin for error, and none will be required. We'll be hopping back into game in just a moment here. But first, you get to look at us. So, John, tell me about this new setup. This is your new setup, right?
Yeah, it is. No, I got a new desk
different?
recently. New desk, completely new monitor arm. Not completely new, but new monitor arms. So like I don't have monitors on my desk anymore. It clears up a ton of space. It's actually really nice. I'm sure some people noticed like the camera angle is different. It actually cleared up the space so I could have a head-on camera angle instead of the one on the side, which was, you know, kind of bothering me a little bit, and I'm happy to have this new setup. And the microphone's also out of the way instead of being like hanging in front of my face, so it's perfect.
There we go. All right. All nice. Well done. Is it a, tell us about this desk, John. Is it a sit stand?
It's a sit stand, yes. I can adjust the height and everything, so it's quite nice.
He's bringing through the technology. He's bringing through the tactics. I need to get me one of those for the sake of my spine. But in the meantime, the question is going to be who's going to stand tall using their spine in this second half. We've got a split game so far, close as close can be. What do you make of it, John?
Oh, look, I mean, I feel like it could swing either way. Boss are playing really well, better than I expected them to on Ancient, to be quite honest. I mean, getting 6 rounds on their CD side was pretty good. I would say the same for Elevate on their T side. Even though they look kind of one-dimensional at certain moments, they made a call that surprised both us and I think Boss as well by faking out the A site, then the B site, and then going back A again. I think that was based off of Snap's forward positioning, and they made that call, and it was the right one. Boss going to walk into A, though. No opposition to face pretty much at all. They forced Peeping and Snap out of position, and now Elevate's on a full-on retake. They do have the kit, though.
Still time already so late before you even hit, and there's no one clearing at Temple. This could be interesting, right? Cryptic's going on a walkabout mission. Nobody's on the bomb just yet. There's going to be the tap. They need to pull this planter off. Oh, it's just being stuck. Do they realize? Well, it doesn't matter. Defuse will be on. Snav gets that one through. And it's another pistol round for Elevate.
What a recovery from Elevate. I mean, a lot of teams like to play passively on the pistol rounds on CT side, and as long as they have the defuse kit available to them, they say, look, we don't have to take those opening fights. We can just go for the full-on retake. Oftentimes, it doesn't really work out, but this time, very well played from Elevate. Even walk out with 2 players left standing. Didn't come down to a 1v1. Very nicely executed. So they take the lead again. Boss, though, they got the plant, which means rifles already for that T side. 4 Galils more than the CTs have. 3 A1Ss on the other side.
That pistol round did feel like a repeat of the first one in that Boss outpositioned their opponents and Elevate shot them in the head.
Yeah.
Which is the classic solution to any setup. It's actually you just kill everybody, John.
Just click faster.
Click better. I don't know why more teams don't do this. Elevate got the lean, right? They're ready for this A presence. Dare is betting on himself, but a resmoke's going to buy him a little bit more time. And I mean, the question with Boss is, at this point, you're pretty telegraphed. I think they know they got spotted in towards mid. They're going to be allowed a fair chunk of space, though. And this does want to be a split A. 3 players in defense, though. It's not bad for Elevate. Dia just has to avoid getting his head ripped immediately. 1-for-1 trade. Not bad there. And that slows Boss right down. They're all coming donut? This is interesting. Giving up the positioning. That catches Dare off guard. He did not expect them to just be walking out. Expected contact to come from CT, if anything. So this works. There is a player in main. They seem to really be wise to it. They haven't seen Peeping, but presumably they know his spot, and so they're looking for him. That's a missed smoke.
They all go back into donut?
Not a bad place to hold from, but no one's watching towards sight. A little bit distracted here. They've not got their angles covered, and now Darty with 3 HP. Good luck. Not gonna happen there. Plenty of time for this defuse. Boss getting a little bit of confusion in the comms, perhaps.
Yeah.
That one gets away from them.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I get it. It can work out. You send 4 players in the donut. Just it's a very cramped space. And, well, especially if you're not covering your angles appropriately and you get a little caught up in the moment, you're not going to succeed. And, yeah, it was Elevate just kind of catching them with the perfect timing on all angles, and they get their 8th round, even though I felt like Boss had that one in the bag. And, I mean, sending 4 players into donut on a round where your team, your opponent, I can't speak, your opponent has more utility in one of the later rounds of the half, maybe not as advisable because you're just going to get naded and mollied and destroyed and then smoked off. But in this one, reading that, of course, there isn't much util into that second round going in for Elevate. They try for it and it works out really well. The thing is they can't close. So, Elevate called a timeout. Wanted to talk things over. On the other side, Boss, they do get another bomb plant, Mike, so they're going to force up again.
They're keeping this close. Double Mackies. We could see a faster play coming through here. Mac 10's more about setting up the trades in the previous, but yeah, this is looking like a faster B hit. If they don't get resistance at the ramp, you'd see them just roll through, but heavy Molotovs, heavy nadage in.
That's a fiery map.
It is indeed. Ancient classic. Now, they're full hitting in. Flashbang's good. And they will eventually work out in their favor. Bomb will be down with smokes at the choke points as well. Oh, the spam's good for one. But it was the low HP player, so it's not a full catastrophe. Bomb now ticking away. They know that mid's clear as well. You've got Cryptic working his way through late, which means they're going to be confident that they just need to fight CT.
I feel like Peeping is going to have a good chance here. Yeah, all the util is gone. Everything's faded away, so they can charge right on forward. There's a smoke on the bomb itself. Dare is going to take a fight into cave. He sees one. Doesn't realize there's a second there, though, and he will get cleaned out, but he finds one before he does. Shane finds a follow-up 3v2 advantage. They're going to stick to the Fusel. I think they've got this. They don't got the ability to get back out there, and that is going to be it. Even gets the spam through the smoke on Peeping's side, and that will give them a 9th round. Boss, again, Mike, that's a good take, but they can't hold on.
They can't. They can't. No, not at all. I mean, a little bit unfortunate on some of those fights, but the limited weapons, right? The lack of AKs really hurting them there. They lose in the ramp fight. They don't have the spam penetration. I mean, the crosshair was off the mark, much less. But the Mac 10, not your favorite gun there for spamming through a panel. Elevate. I mean, look, by hook or by crook, again, a lot of these rounds are being called well over on the boss side, but just not necessarily getting the critical moments, the critical kills here. This time they lose Cryptic early, but there's no one on A. A smoke for CT, and this is good. Here they go. Dia trying to play out of it, but that's a little too late to stop this bomb plant.
It's still
double
a good
smoke
molly.
donut. Didn't need to throw both of those.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there on the boss side. I think the molly's still good because it traps a player in A main, but 3 already got past it, so you're right. A little too late on that side for Dia. And now they're going to go
use another smoke right now.
They've still got all 5. And yeah, another smoke would have helped Boss immensely.
Brett gets the first. Able to bail out? No, dead to it, but still stalling them. The Molotov actually works to section them out, but Darty just wants to fight, catches the reload. Okay. This is looking good. This hole is looking good. Freshy and Darty, those young guns, step up. There's definitely some chaos in the comms right now, right? I think the double smoking towards Donut is a nice indicator of it. We've seen a couple of moments there for Boss where maybe things aren't as calm as they need to be, but this time they see it through. They hold off Elevate, and they get a very important round win. And this time it's before they let 4 unanswered rounds go. Just 3. Just 3.
Yeah, it's either chaos on the comms or not enough comms, right? In that type of situation where you're just going to throw a smoke and you don't say it because you figure, okay, well, they know I'm going to throw it every single time, and your teammate throws at the same time, and you just need to say those things out loud. I am throwing a smoke in Donut, so your teammate doesn't do it. Or, like you said, Mike, it's just chaos and they can't hear each other. There's too much going on. Who knows what the case may actually be. But timeout going to be called here from Elevate to talk things over. That's actually the second timeout called by Elevate. You'd think Boss would be calling them, but no. Elevate is continually trying to kind of keep composure here. I mean, Boss did just take a round off of you, but still, you've been pretty solid so far on the CT side. It is going to be likely an eco round for the Elevate side. Dare does have a lot of money, but I'm assuming he's going to drop an op for Dia in the following round, and that is indeed going to be the case. They only buy a 5-7 and a Deagle. That's it. $1,200 spent. No nades, no armor, meaning probably a stack, but I guess sort of on the B side. They got 3 players. I thought a 4th was going to lean into it, but it's just 3 kind of going aggressive out of cave, maybe. And no, now they're falling back. Interesting.
Trying to go for cheeky peeky, get something going.
Yeah.
Let's see what Peeping's got. Peeping or bust. Molotov burning, dead. Well, good. Dia smoked off. This round shouldn't really have a whole lot to it. Darty needs to avoid giving up that gun for nothing. They're hunting. I mean, this presents the opportunity for a rifle. This is what they're looking for. Artie only gets one, so there's the rifle. Successful round if they can save this. Shane tucked in the corner, but is Brett going to think that that gun's now scampered off? Either way, this is about as good as Elevate could be hoping to get out. If they get, like, one more exit, phenomenal.
I mean, if Snav leans in the right direction... No, he won't. I was going to say, if he goes towards mid, he might be able to catch Brett unaware. But that's just the Galil. Freshie deals the killing blow against Dia.
That was just to hold him close to the bomb. He's dead.
Yeah, that was really smart.
That was all Dia was trying to do. He knew he couldn't use that bomb. He didn't have a kit. So he gets one more rifle out of them. Shane saves the AK. Considering it's just USPs, not a bad result.
Not bad at all. I mean, like you said, AK out of the round. Maybe we're hoping for some more frags to come through, but still, it is a pretty decent job from them. Ended up getting a second one to the bomb, like you mentioned. And Boss, well, they still find their 8th, looking for a 9th now, and the buy-ups isn't perfect still for Elevate. They've got an MP9 in the mix, utility pretty strong, and that AK is certainly going to help things out. Cryptic eats a nade, goes down to 58 HP. Snav spamming through the smoke, perhaps looking for some visibility to see if a player crossed by. Obviously, not aware that Cryptic's already passed it. And this B site,
look at Peeping.
Gonna need to be reinforced, yep.
Peeping's already out A main. Flanking this mid presence, gonna have the window player here in just a moment. Whoa, they're fortunate that was only one. Still might be enough of a backbreaker because now they need to be paranoid. Question is, can Brett have that same effect on his opponents? They're making some space here. The answer is a resounding no. Dare was ready for that. Knew they left it open, knew that was a possibility, and Brett able to deliver on the lurk. One kill here. Need some more.
Oh,
They've got it. Okay, they're making a possibility here. Problem is, look at the health. They can't plant without getting these kills first. They just don't trust that that HE would have done them in. Molotov, certainly. And now a 4 HP Pwn alone. He'll find one more. Oh, he's going to give it a look. I mean, with the op, quick enough on the trigger. There's no chance for them to shoot back. See if he's cool hand Luke out here, or if it's a fluke. Not going to happen. We got double digits on for Elevate.
Oof, that got a little scary for Elevate, I would say. When Snav goes down without getting that trade with the MP9, yes, there's a lot of damage. It gave that window of opportunity to Boss to maybe find something. Luckily for Snav, Shane is right there to get not 1 but 2 frags. He completely cools down that situation. And of course, all the damage that had been done prior to that really did hinder Boss from having an impact on that round. So a timeout finally here. The first one called for Boss. Down by 2 rounds, far from out of this one, and they're opting for the gamble force buy. I want to say, maybe not a gamble force buy, actually. Looking at the money, they are going to have enough for 4 players to buy up. It's just Pwn alone who is a little short-handed, which may have justified the save in that previous round, right? We saw him go for it, but if he backs off and saves the op, they have pretty much a full buy up here, as opposed to having Pwn alone stuck onto the pistol. It might not make a difference. We'll see. Smoke's tossed out. Elevate don't care. They completely charge through into mid. Molotov thrown onto the boxes there at mid, and it won't do that much damage to Dare.
It was a weird Molly smoke interaction, it felt like.
Yeah.
I think that's Molly basically got extinguished by the smoke, but also kind of didn't.
At the top, it wasn't really extinguished yet when he was walking through, so he took 7 HP of damage. Then it went out, maybe a little delayed.
Interesting. Anyway. Interesting. Dia put himself in a bit of a risky spot. They don't quite seize on it. So Dia, I think, may be getting away with one there. But this may have just been a fake intention. Try and pull presence. See what they can get. The cave kill would have been massive. Still does put Snav on notice. They can find a shot on Peeping. The game is seriously afoot. That seems to be the intention. Smoking towards Donut. They want to fight this into Red Room. Nice peek from Peeping. Call him peeking. And that was a teammate headshot, I think, onto Brett.
Might have been.
Less than ideal.
Maybe Dia doesn't get away with that positioning if Ponal had the AWP in that situation, Mike. That's all I'm going to say. Peeping.
Hold on.
Oh, it's going to go down.
Back on.
3v3.
It's back on. Dia misses a shot. Now they know where he's at. They already had some idea, but this should be a bomb plant. Most likely, Donut players can't get here in time. Dia works his way out. They playing it safe from Donut. Ooh, Freshie on the angle. Freshie taking no prisoners. Oh, Freshie taking no prisoners at all. There will be no survivors from Elevate as Freshie just keeps collecting headshots.
Okay, well, op doesn't matter. I take it back. Freshie just lighting up the scoreboard here. 21 and 12. When did he get there? Freshie is performing admirably here at the top of his game in order to secure a 9th for Boss. I mean, that round felt like it should have been over, but Boss slipped through. They make it a 3v3. They manage to plant the bomb. Dia misses his shot, so his positioning is completely known. They don't really have to challenge him because they're waiting for the rest of the players to come through, and Freshie just peeks around and finds 3. Unreal stuff. Elevate, they're going to force up. They got 3 MP9s, a 5.7, and a Deagle. That nade should do some damage. It does a lot. Snav and Shane both down to around half health. They're going to try and throw a smoke to guys off visibility for Boss here. But they have to be careful. I mean, they are super exposed. If someone decides to foray themselves, go through the smoke, it'll be trouble. I can't speak. That nade is going to do some damage against Shane, getting down to 7 HP. Almost takes him down, Mike. But yeah, this is so risky for Elevate.
Certainly is. Certainly is. They got to make a move, though. Low HP, running out of util, no kit, no big guns. They're going to stack. I don't mind it. You got to take some risks in these kind of rounds. And this time, well, it's not going to pay off. Boss, sniffing this out, poking their noses up the ramp, finding that there's absolutely no one here to deal with them. And so this may be a bomb plant. And this, honestly, will probably be a save from Elevate. Can't imagine they attempt this retake with what's available to them.
No. No way.
So it will indeed just be about keeping these guns up, giving themselves another round with the force buy.
Exactly. I mean, given that they were able to fight a little bit and try to push Boss back and still keep 5 alive, and they have no money, I think this is a pretty good opportunity to reset themselves and try again the next one. But Boss will indeed find double digits, tying things up at 10 to 10. Just a couple of good nades, right? Into Jaguar, thrown by Boss. And it forced Snav and Shane back. They tried to challenge, continued to, I would say, overstay their welcome. And Boss decided that they didn't have to see a single player in order to win this round. Well done.
That's my favorite kind of round.
Yeah.
Plant the bomb, don't see anybody. It's the introverts Counter-Strike round. No interaction with the opposing team. Just get to do your thing on your site, clock out, head home. Not quite going to have the same thing here, I'd imagine. 3 players getting ready to push down the ramp. And it is just Darty who's going to have to deal with them. Oh, they're backing up. Okay. Interesting. 2 players pulled off A as well, in towards mid. There's a smoked donut, so they want to deal with this position from Cryptic. But the hold on window, I mean, if Cryptic's just patient with this... Oh, he hears the jump. Is that enough to bait him forward? He's hearing a lot of noise. Cryptic hasn't moved the muscle just yet. Now he's getting active. It's like, okay, they've jumped this enough. They're going to think it's fully clear.
That's perfect timing.
It really is. He knows that he just rotated in towards B. Now they can pinch this solo A player. It'll be very tough. And if they can kill Dia without needing Cryptic, well, then the rotations are going to be difficult. Oh, timer's running out here. 1 found. The trade? Not quite there. Cryptic able to stay alive, and all the kills are stacking up beautifully here for Boss. They will be sliding this into the lead. The bomb is now going down, and it is just there to exist as a speed bump in their way. But this speed bump can cause some serious damage to your suspension. Freshie, though, says this thing goes all-wheel drive.
11th round found for Boss. They've got the lead again against, I shouldn't say again, is it? Yeah, it is again. Sorry. They did take a 6-4 lead in that first half. I'm trying to jog my memory a little bit here, folks, but Boss are able to get one step closer to taking Ancient, and a 1-0 lead here going to map number 2, which we don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll find out soon. That said, let's get back into the action here. Elevate do have the rifles again, which they didn't have. You guys recall, they only had the MP9s and the pistols for 2 rounds in a row. Now the A1S has come out. Utility is a bit of a problem, a big problem, in fact. Only a flash and a smoke left, but Snav pops one through the smoke. That'll make things a little bit easier. 5v4 immediately here.
I feel really good about my 13-11 prediction here.
I don't know.
Maybe even the 16-14. I'm just saying, John.
Yeah, my 13-9 is out the window.
Well, there's a lot of plays out the window in Ancient. It's kind of one of the hallmarks of this map. Got the numbers in the right place right now for Elevate. Oh, I like the gumption from Snav to take the initiative. They're just setting up the exec. You know they're about to make something happen. Well, they do lose track of Cave, but Snav's still punishing them for it. Man advantage available. 35 seconds. There's a bit of time to work with, but the bomb plant's going to be tricky with your teammate smoked off in Cave. Do you really want to commit to this Ponalon? He wants one more kill. He wants one more kill. And at this point, Dia is ahead, so planting not going to be an option. He'll at least find one before he's claimed. 20 seconds for Cryptic to work. He has repositioned, but Dia's wise to the fact that this could have happened. There's enough time on the clock. And Dia's gonna capitalize. Great bit of rifle work there. An op can be retrieved. That's a nice gift for Dia. And we got it all knotted up.
Yeah, great hold there from Elevate. Dia with the rifle, doing the job better than Cryptic, right? Cryptic looked a little rough around the edges when he was trying to lock his crosshair onto Dia's body, and Dia was much better in the situation. So we're knotted up again, 11-11. Second timeout used by Boss. We only got 2 rounds of regulation left here, Mike. That means either one of these teams is getting a 13-11, or we're headed for some overtime. Given how tightly contested this has been, OT would be quite fitting. Like you mentioned, Dia got the op off the ground, so he's got that free upgrade for himself. Got the util as well. Not perfect for util on the Elevate side. In fact, much better for Boss, who had the money built up in their bank thanks to that little win streak they put together. So they're going to have an advantage in that regard. But I'd say mechanically, at least in this map so far, Elevate have had the edge on multiple occasions where it felt like Boss should have won strategically if they just hit the shots, and they didn't. Dare walking out into mid. Nade going to get tossed forward. Cryptic trying to close the space. Cryptic's down to 3 HP. I'm not sure what happened there. Must have been a util volley or maybe some spam. But he's in a heap of trouble HP-wise, and so is Brett now down to 53 HP.
Yeah, I think he caught some of that cave span coming through from Snav. Bit unfortunate on the first 4, right? Cubby player activates, peeping. Only able to get 1, but look at that damage on opponent alone. He's limping. Starting to look like a wounded ward here on the Boss side of the server. As Elevate look to secure a map point. Still there's time to work. There's room to rumble. And the utility's getting low for Elevate. They don't have a lot left to work with. Fresh is going to clear out Donut. He's got full control of this site. He just needs his teammates to trust him and join him. He's a little wary about the Donut play. And that does mean that Dare creeps ever closer to being in position here in the temple. What kind of smoke do they have? That one misses. Uh-oh. Not where that was supposed to go. Darty gonna plant the bomb. Trust it regardless. And the Molotov will allow him a chance to punch the numbers in uncontested. Ooh, shot missed. Alone trying to play the slimmest of angles with his 1 HP, but he does bait in Darty, and Darty will deliver.
At 17.
That might just be enough. They barely got enough health to be 1 player between the lot of them. Much less the full. Now it's just Bodalone and Cryptic. The no HP Kings.
Oh, that's
makes this easier. Do they know about Cryptic? They don't know about Cryptic. He's got 1. But has it pulled? The spam, is it enough? Ponaloni's off the mark. He's off the money, but he just needs to pull it once.
No!
And he's done it.
No, he missed it. He got the defusal.
Elevate's got it. Elevate's got map point.
That could not have been closer. What a back and forth affair, given that Boss, like you said, didn't even have full HP amongst 3 players combined. Still held on that long and made it a 1v1 at the end. Ponalone missing his shots. If he had charged to that smoke up millisecond earlier, he would have won the round, but instead waits a little too long, gets the frag, but it's right after the defusal comes through. That is nuts. The thing is, Boss still come out better in terms of hardware here. They're going to have AKs across the board versus 3 MP9s and 2 A1Ss. Shane gets the opener. Brett gets the immediate trade, and now Cryptic's got Dare. 4v3. They need to get to OT to have a chance to come back here. Dia finds one, and Snap does as well. What a sequence. Ponalone almost clutches it on himself, and he gets it down to a 1v1. Cryptic and Dia for the map.
For the map. Can Dia seal it? It's getting proactive. The bomb is down. Cryptic hitting the pause button's interesting here. Dia's coming in to clear, but actually setting up perfectly for this play. He's got the read, he's got the shot, he's got the blind side, and positioning will win it for him. Elevate. Win the first bout here. Wow, that is that's quite the animated scene pick there. Wow. But hold on, we're back into it. Elevate, man, that came right down to the wire. A last-second defuse pulled off on A, and then Dia pulling through the clutch. I mean, that was as close as it could be. This did not fail to deliver.
No, not at all. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning in the pregame that these two teams are pretty evenly matched. It feels like this should be a close one, and it absolutely was. Those last 2 rounds in particular, you talked about that close defusal. Even at the end, Ponalone swings around, finds 2, almost ends the round by finding a 3rd one, but falls short of it. And then at the end, Dia with perfect positioning. It just was no chance at all for that last player to survive there. On the side of Boss, sorry, my team slipped my mind. Team name slipped my mind, Mike, because it was so intense, so much fun. I love that map.
Yeah, I mean, that one's going to be massively disappointing for Boss as well, right? I think they had a lot of really nice setups. They had a lot of really nice plays. They had a monstrous individual performance from Freshy. But at times, just a few mechanical errors letting them down, a few clutches lost. That's what the Elevate factor can do to you, right?
Yeah.
They've got oodles of firepower. They're very resistant, right? You can throw whatever you want at them. At the end of the day, they're going to shoot back, and they're going to do a great job of it as well.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Boss could have had the lead going into that second half from their T side because, excuse me, I thought there were a few rounds where I felt like they could hold off the advance from Elevate, and their T side, I felt like there were some rounds where they should have had it, and they couldn't hold on because, like we talked about, just mechanically, Elevate were better, and they were able to pull it off.
A little bit sharper, and that might just be enough, but there is another map to play. There is another game to play here, and we'll find out what that's going to be when we come back from this break. Welcome back here, folks. We got another map underway here between Elevate and Boss. That last one, it came down to the wire, John. And now we've got another match to get through. So can they split this series on the Boss side, or will Elevate triumph over them, stomp their way on through? What do you think, John?
I feel like Elevate will still have the edge going to this second map. It will be Vertigo, we found out, and, well, I predicted it would be going into this in the pregame because that's the two maps that you see these teams playing a lot, and they have a similar map pool, so usually that type of stuff happens. You're looking at Vertigo over the last 3 months for both teams. It's 8 times that they've played it on Boss side, and they played it 6 times for Elevate, excuse me. I keep thinking Timmerman, Mike, and it's messing me up, but anyway. But yeah, looking at it, it's 4-4 over on the Boss side, plus 11 round differential, and then on Vertigo, it's 4-2 and a plus 13 round differential. The thing is, for Boss, they've really been struggling to find the wins lately versus Elevate, who haven't been. Elevate have been doing really well against their NA competition overall and have beaten some of the big names, as I mentioned in the pregame, so I still favor Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw a good example of it in that last one, right? Boss were bringing out a whole lot from the playbook. They had punch, counter punch, different aggressions, different looks, different movements. They had Freshie popping off, and it still wasn't enough, right? At the end of the day, it wasn't enough. Some missed opportunities, some missed clutches, perhaps, but at the end of the day, Elevate played well. Their first half, their T side, relatively straightforward, really throwing in 1 or 2 change-up rounds, but otherwise very much by the book. Beat hold into a take, right? Like, it's uncomplicated, but they're also not being forced to go to the depths of things. Still, after getting a big run for their money on the last, maybe we'll see a little bit more from them on Vertigo. I'm guessing a lot of A-ramp fights.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, one thing for Boss that was looking great in the first half and not so much in the second half was that everyone was contributing in that first half, and it felt like they were all playing their roles well. And then the second half, it was just Freshie who was popping off, and they had some moments from other players, but Freshie was the key piece, and they need everyone else to perform well to have success, especially against a team like Elevate, who kind of did what Boss was doing in that first half throughout the entire match, and that's everyone finding impact. We already have the action underway here, of course, into this first round of play, and Brett gets the opener. Let's not forget, Elevate won both pistol rounds on Ancient.
Oh, expecting the nades. That's the dirty check just to see if the HEs were coming out. No HEs to be had. It'll just be a straightforward retake here. They are moving en masse. The amoeba of USPs can be a dangerous one. Ooh, they're just sticking. They're just straight sticking this. Nice nade. And the kill goes through. That denies the Kit defuse, but it is just Ponalone now. Kit's picked back up. Oh, no. He's not got the stop. They're going to get away with another pistol and a shot to boot.
It feels like the same story as Ancient, Mike. Boss, a nice play, a great plant, and then a ridiculous individual effort and some great aiming coming through on the Elevate side. I mean, Peeping just popped 3 hits like it was nothing. Ponalone gets the trade, but then, as was the situation for him, not in a pistol round, but in one of those rounds over on Ancient, he just couldn't get that player that was defusing the bomb, and in the end, he actually goes down in that fight. So, wow. Elevate just will not lose a pistol. 3 for them tonight. We'll see if they get that 4th in that second half, but right now, Boss has to focus up here. They did get that bomb plant. They have Galils across the board. Little bit of util. Might have wanted a MAC-10 to get a little more in play. It's going to be 2 smokes and 2 Molotovs along with a lone flashbang for Ponalone. On the other side, it's kind of the same story for Elevate. They favor the rifles over the util. I would say it's more problematic right now for the T side, though. And as you predicted, Mike, we're going to get some A-ramps. A-ramp rushes, A-ramp fights.
This is a Boss's T side as well. So the bread and butter of the Vertigo. And Elevate clearly expecting something else, because look at how heavy the lean is over towards B initially. They're just going to pop a nade. That does not take the bounce he was hoping it would. And now, pushed off of this. Smoke gonna go down. This is another bomb plant up. But this time, actually, they've got double mollies to play for the post. There's smokes for the retake. There's still just the 1 kid on Dare. How long do they want to hold these mollies? Oi, nice first kill. There's the first Molotov deployed as well to force them out into the open. Whew. Freshie on the angle. Smoke. Not quite where you want it for the bounce on the bomb, but the second one certainly will be. Good spray down, though, from Cryptic. Keeps them from getting onto that tap, and now time's ticking away. They don't know where the kit's gone, and they're not going to be able to deal with Cryptic whatsoever. Boss win the force buy.
Wow, okay. Good job from Boss to respond immediately after losing that pistol round. It got scary at a few moments. You saw so much damage done to Elevate, both with the spam and the nades, but they weren't able to get frags, and you saw bodies falling. You get a little concerned. You say, okay, hold on a second. What are you doing, Boss? Cryptic, though, the IGL comes to the rescue, gets 3, closes the door on Elevate, and gives Boss that critical response after losing the pistol round and forcing Elevate down to pistols only. It will be a force buy regardless for Elevate. A shot from Snav that misses the mark. But Boss will have the edge here. Snav, are you going to push up here? Are you going to make a little bit of a risky play? He's not, and he eats a nade. That's a well-tossed nade, actually, from Cryptic.
That's a chunky meatball. Good HE value out of this so far. Cryptic looking to make some more. They're taking this really slowly, aren't they? Still a minute on the clock. And they're waiting for Brett to work his way up on this mid lurk. That's presumably what they're waiting for. You know, the kill to be gift wrapped over towards them, or to give Brett some room to work. He's just now shifting his way on up. Good shot on Snav. Bomb going down. Shouldn't be much more that we expect out of this round.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they go A ramp 3 rounds in a row, but it's not that typical, okay, let's just rush out A ramp and try to get frags. They are taking it slow, which is good, and they're showing a lot of respect for Elevate, which they need to, because Elevate can be good in any round, especially when you're perhaps getting a little lackadaisical and thinking, oh, they only have the pistols. No, you have to be careful and methodical, and that's exactly what Cryptic and his squad does. 2-1 in favor of Boss, peeping the last one standing. He'll be able to save the kit, the body armor, and the 5.7. There's some value here. Maybe he won't be able to, actually, because Cryptic's going to come around the corner, blindsided by peeping, who picks up the MAC-10, gets a second. Right. They're not going to be able to kill him.
All right. It's not a big deal that he survives through, but it's nice, certainly.
Peeping!
The money made is nice.
Wow.
Almost gets the third. But a little bit extra cash, right? That's going to give them a little extra wiggle room. And actually, if Peeping saves it through this round, this could be an op in the next. Where's the loss bonus at now? We're at third round loss bonus. So what, 2,400 coming through? Yep. He could drop an op if he survives with the armor.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean,
Peeping just going to go find a hidey hole and never leave it.
I would imagine that he'll be on the front lines with the MAC-10 and trying to get some opening frags, but maybe he'll hide and just save that MAC. No, he's over at mid. He's actually.
This isn't really a hiding team.
No, it's not. Not at all.
They are not. When they were kids, they were not playing hide and seek. They were playing tag. You're it. I mean, there were some crazy tag variants as a kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there another tag?
It's like freeze tag, flashlight tag.
Fair enough.
I feel like there was like a team tag variant, but I'm struggling to remember the rules for that one.
I mean, I just did the tag. You're it. You know, that's.
You never did freeze tag? That's where when you get tagged, you have to freeze, and then to unfreeze someone, you have to crawl through their legs.
Nah, I don't remember. Maybe in school, like played that, but not as like with just my friends.
Never did flashlight tag? Flashlight tag's banger.
No, but I know what it is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you go after dark, you tag people with a flashlight. That one's fun.
Peepin's having fun here. He got the
MAC-10 frag kill. I mean, $600 on each one. He gets one more. He's getting it up regardless of what happens here.
Yeah.
I think he might be now anyway. Okay, out. They're going to give this a little look. BP does have a kit. There's no smoke to cover it off. And he is the one fighting forward, but if he just gets the tap, they may not be anticipating the kit. Okay, he's been holding off. Should be all good. Still heavy damage on. They're making this hella expensive.
That's still good.
Oh,
that's
great.
Still really good for Elevate. I mean, yes, you lose the round, but 3 players taken down. Money built up by Peeping, who unfortunately won't be able to get the op. That's
no, he could.
One.
He could have.
He chose not to.
5,300 spent. Yeah, this is a willful decision.
Yeah.
Could have prioritized the AWP, but they're not going to do it for Dia.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be up just yet.
I imagine Dia is very much itching to get in his hands as well. He's 0-4 so far. He wants that AWP on the CT side of Vertigo. Maybe play that ramp a little bit, but it's not going to happen just yet. Elevate, they want to get some rounds here. Boss looking for a 4th. Dia playing aggressively towards A main briefly before falling back. You see Boss going for a boost here. He stares, won't catch anything. Shane is watching for it, not on his watch, as they get 1 frag their way and a 5v4 advantage.
Sometimes I love how perfectly like conical the volumetric smokes are. It looks so funny compressed into the scaffolding there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a marshmallow. So fluffy.
It's great.
Never thought I'd want to eat a smoke before, but
okay.
it's like cotton candy, man. It's like cotton candy. Good shot for Brett on the smoke fade. He'll be taking a bite out of their setup. 2 players are field on B. Do they accelerate here? Ooh, they just might. Ooh, Freshie might accelerate a little bit more than he'd like to. A little disjointed here in this take, and it is falling apart for Boss as a result. See what Ponalone can bring back through? They had time as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about sometimes with the comms. Maybe a little bit of confusion. Maybe they thought there was a 3rd player over there as well. I don't know. Just didn't seem to get the information all together in the right time.
Yeah. I don't think
Ponalone's going to save.
I don't think Freshie was aware of the fact that anyone was there. You don't make that play if you expect someone to be around the corner, because he went up close, didn't throw the smoke from a distance, was trying to underhand toss it in that position and then fade away. But like someone holding that angle will get that frag every single time. So that's just a misread and a misplay. And like you said, perhaps even a miscomm. 2nd round found for Elevate, as they take control there in that one. It will still be Boss having enough cash to buy up pretty much fully here, at least in terms of guns. Utility is another story. 2 pieces each. Maybe a 3rd coming in, yes. So a 3rd for Freshie's got the HE, but I think that's actually dropped for him from Brett. Anyway, here comes Boss. They're going for a quick play potentially up the B ramp. A Molotov will slow them down for sure. They have some presence there already. Cryptic, a little bit of damage from that HE that flies his way. Snav throwing a ton of util here down the ramp. He wants to go aggressive and take that space, and he does. Pone alone could punish, and he doesn't get the opportunity. Snav, in his view, briefly, but not long enough for Pone alone to pull the trigger.
We'll re-smoke top stairs. Might just slow this down. But it seems not much. They're going for the B hit. Molotov clear out the first angle. Waiting on the smoke fade. Getting up above the railing. And in they go. Here's the motion. Here's the movement. Nice CT smoke to try and slow them down. But here comes the motion. Shots are landing. Flashbang's good. Counter flash is excellent. Still, bomb's going to be planted. Oh, out ahead of the smoke for Dia. That was risky. That was bold. And it's turning into a bit of a massacre here. Shane's DC'd. Oh, no. It's just going to be to Snav. It's down to the 1v1. It's down to the clutch. Shane is not on the server with us anymore. And he swings wide. Oh, but the audio cue's missed. Expect him to come back around. Pone alone now ready. Give him one more look. Give him one more look, he says. Ooh, 10 seconds. Needs to plant this bomb, and he's just going to swing, and the no-scope does connect. That's going to be a tough round for Elevated. DC doing them in. Call them VP.
Ugh, yeah, that was such an unfortunate circumstance. The major, a lot higher stakes there, but still, this is unfortunate as well for Elevate because they had two players that would have been alive in that situation in a 2v1, and instead, well, they lose their player. He disconnects. Who knows what happened? Probably just a crash that came through, and he'll be back soon, hopefully.
But new game. New game. Just the struggles of the new game, right? I mean, it's just a constant state. You know, if it's NVIDIA drivers or it's anything else, this is just the reality. We have a lot of crashes still in CS2, and that's something that will get ironed out as time goes on, but it is definitely still a reality of the game right now. Even if you got a monster machine and everything's right, well, sometimes it just doesn't care. CS is a hungry god.
It'll get resolved eventually. I mean, if we compare the state of CS2 now to what it was a year ago, it's a vast improvement, right? Especially in terms of the sub-tick. It's a lot easier to hold angles now. I think the gameplay has improved immensely. There's some issues maybe with anti-cheat a little bit, let's say, in Premiere, but a lot of good stuff going their way. We still got those bugs ironed out. We talked about the clipping issue as well. But I'm excited the way that CS2 has gone at the very least. And I think that once we get these issues ironed out, which did exist in CSGO's early days as well, it will be even better than we had with CSGO.
It certainly will. I do think this is another note, actually, from watching the documentary today, the memories of CSGO. Watching old CSGO footage was like, shocking when you go back to it. And you're like, man, it does look so much better now, visually. You just get so used to, obviously, you know, when you're watching thousands upon hours of Counter-Strike, you get very used to whatever visuals are present, but you kind of forget that it did look quite a bit different.
It was dated. I think the biggest difference is when you see a smoke come out, you're like, what the hell is that? Like, it just looks like the worst.
Globs.
Yeah.
I think Lucy had a great tweet about it.
Yeah, she did.
About how absurd those smokes look in retrospect when you compare them to CS2 smokes now.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And I mean, that was the thing I was most excited about. As soon as I saw that trailer about the smoke coming out, I was like, volumetric smokes, that's amazing. It changes the game. It adds another little element to it and looks amazing.
Just fluffy guys. Fluffy guys. Elevate. Let me force some of the pistols. Brett, I don't know how long you want to set up with that Molotov. Hope that was worth it. Because he just got run down. Rifle taken. And his team hasn't even really taken that much space towards A. Because of the molly he was trying to line up, they know exactly where they're coming. Bomb's going to be down now. They got to do this with the guns.
Okay.
Not a lot of firepower on the other side, so they will be A-okay. But there's the one salvage rifle. Dare it to work. Dare might do it all himself. On for the ace. He's got armor behind this. Doesn't have the kit. Molotov will force him off this bomb plant.
He knows.
Dare's going hunting. He's hungry. Hungry for Darty. Footsteps giving it up. Trying to get back around, and Darty's not giving him an inch. Knows that the bomb is his best friend here. Dare has lost the round. Oh, and he's lost the ace as well. Man. But golly, that was pistols, John. That was just pistols.
That is phenomenal there from Dare. 4 frags out of nothing. Completely nothing. He just peeks around, wins fight after fight after fight, and luckily for Elevate, they had Darty tucked into a corner. Excuse me, not for Elevate, luckily for Boss, they had Darty tucked into a corner, and he was waiting and bided his time enough to ensure that Dare could not clutch it out, because even if he peeks a little bit earlier than he did, Dare was lined up on the angle. Eventually, he's like, oh, maybe he's coming around from ramp, and Darty caught him transitioning over with his crosshair. So that will make it 5-2 in favor of Boss, but again, an expensive round, which means that economic foundation has not been found for Boss yet. They've been buying down below $1,000 round after round after round, even with this little win streak that they've gotten. On the other side, sure, the economy's not great for Elevate, but every time they get those types of performances where Boss can't really build that foundation, they give themselves a chance once they get one round victory to really pile on and get some rounds. Peeping, going for a boost here. Well, that's a good one. Wow. Yeah, Freshie had no chance at all. Peeping gets the 5v4.
Oh, expected. So good start to what is a very important round. Shane with the aggressive posturing downstairs as well. They've got a lot of vision here. The ops posted along with him. It's a good setup if this turns into a B-Steps take. Does leave them light on A, but as we've seen, Elevator pretty content to play retake A. Oh, Brett gonna get caught. Didn't expect to swing back in. Again, getting caught fumbling with utility now. We've seen that a couple times. Boss are gonna come back to try and address this. Are they saving?
No. 43 seconds left. Calling for a save this early?
They're saving. Yep. 5v4. They don't fancy it. They're going to save this one through.
Wow.
That's conservative, to say the least.
Exceptionally.
And I mean, it's interesting as well. Looking at what they've got, right? Okay, first round loss bonus. Not anything great, for sure. Opponent will be able to buy, like, one extra piece of utility over here. Can maybe drop his upgraded pistol if they wanted to go for that. The remaining players will be able to put up some util to set up these rifles, but... Very conservative save call here from Boss.
That is not a save you expect in MR12, but we've got it here from Boss. 3 players at the 43-second mark deciding they would not engage any further. Not even a poke, a prod, anything towards that B site, which was a little light. Maybe get a frag, move on to that bomb site. They just want to fight into that next round. So they concede it. Elevate gets a free third after finding those open in 2 frags. And now it's exactly as you said, Mike. Pistol upgrades, some util will be available here for Boss. And a chance. The thing is, I think that's great for Elevate. They're happy as they get an economic foundation, a little tiny one. Because all 5 players survive.
There's nothing wrong with saving 5.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looking towards mid. Maybe they just really didn't fancy the setup in the last, but this time mid's being allowed to them. Dia instead will hold it from the elevator side with the AWP. They wanted this to be a split B. There's 2 players down by the steps, 3 located up in towards mid. Oh, Dia's coming back into clear. Does he sweep the boost? Does he sweep the boost? They're not looking for him. Oh, now they're on the angle, but Dia gets the first shot. Now it's big trouble on. The split doesn't work if you don't have both sides, and there's 2 players focused up in towards mid. Utility being exchanged, and the big gun out of the server. Good swing, better shot from Dia.
What a flick.
And again, this seems a bit disjointed from Boss. One player's swinging out and towards mid. The other 3 are milling about here in the labyrinth. Now they're going up ladder. I mean, just not really any clear objective here.
Yeah, they're a little disjointed. And Dia, we talked about him wanting to get the op in his hands, right? Because he hasn't been able to for the majority of this half. And finally, he gets it. And yeah, they're going to another save. I mean, I don't know. Dia gets the third. His first 3 frags, by the way, of the map come with the AWP. But this is a weird call.
Yeah, this is starting to get bizarre because now you're just getting into a situation where you're never going to be able to put a good gun round around this. I mean, it's going to be loss bonuses building, sure. But no loss bonus for Cryptic and Darty. This is highly unusual. But they just...
I mean, look, what they had is more valuable than loss bonus. We can say that.
Yeah,
right?
it is. But then you're just going to force again, and you're just going to get into a situation where you're only playing for the last round, I guess, if you don't win here. Well, or they're not going to force, and then you're going to get into a situation where next round you're going to have a weird buy. So that's what they're going to do. They're not going to buy anything, and Cryptic and Darty will just have a weird buy in the next, assuming they don't win this.
Yeah. Well, here comes an A that'll do no damage. Wow, it just goes right in between everyone on the boss side. Shane, I think he spots out the head. He did. Manages to connect, but it's through the grate. And on to Cryptic, who goes down to 62 HP. Peeping around the corner, sees the bodies. Shane drops them all. 3K for Shane. Brett and Freshie, the last 2 standing. Freshie's trying to do something. He gets nothing. And Brett, well, yeah. Shane with the 4K. Nothing doing at all for Boss, and now it's another weird buy coming through for them. This is
half buy this to get a good buy in the last. No, they're going in with 3, and they'll have 2 players on Mac 10s presumably.
But Mike, you know, if you're an MR15, totally justifiable, right? To try and go for a strat like that. You got a lot of rounds, you know, to kind of build things back up and take that risk of going for a save. But here, it's I mean, you're already in the second to last round of this half, and you've got a weird buy and maybe nothing else in the next round. So that's 4 rounds where you just weren't able to really contest or do much at all. Interesting decision making for Boss. But, I mean, at the same time, they are tied 5-5. They're not out of this at all. It's just weird decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. Still struggling to wrap my head around some of it.
2 in a row like that was strange, for sure. Dare might be able to get 2 of his own. No.
Spray down. Snap's got him. Locked on in, gonna have a chance for the reload as well. He's just facing, knows that he's stuck, but teammates have now rallied around. Dia has wrapped this, and Brett has got nothing doing whatsoever. Elevate, what a recovery into this half, into this map, and now looks set to take a lead out of it.
Yeah, it was 5-2 in favor of Boss at 1 point, but this is 4 unanswered round victories for Elevate. They're looking to make it 5 and take a lead going to that second half. And I mean, given the buy-up for Boss right now, there's a prime opportunity for Elevate to do exactly that. 4 Mac 10 so they can get the util, which is very important on a map like Vertigo, and the Galil for Darty. That is not the greatest of buy-ups, and they're going to have to get a couple of favorable engagements to find their way into a round victory here. Gotta use those flashes well. It's actually a point where they've struggled on the flashbangs. In fact, they end up being flashed more often than their opponents pretty much across the board except for Cryptic. Snav's going to get 1 onto Brett. That will make it a 5v4. He does get the information as well, knowing that they're pushing up, Mike.
They're so hemmed in by these Molotovs is the problem. And it's a little telegraph now, right? Because there's that deep stairs presence. They're not so wary about the pinch. They can focus in on this mid-fight, and bit by bit, they're just falling apart. There's nothing doing to it. Freshie can't get anything done. They're blanked out of this half. back live in here with the second half, and there's precious little time for Boss to get going. I would like to be able to split this series here up against Elevate. Elevate, a team that seems to be threatening for the top end of the league right now. Only one loss so far on the season.
Yeah.
They can secure the 2-0 tonight. That puts them in great standing. Exchange down the ramp. Aggression here from Boss. They're getting frisky on this retake. Getting it started early with the ramp flank, but Elevate, as usual, don't seem to be terribly phased. Shots ringing out. Dinks galore. And this one's getting messy, but indeed, it's as many others have gone. You may have the setup, you may have the strat, you may have the read, but Elevate just hit the gas pedal, hit the headshots. If they can find one more. Ooh. Well, that might be too much of an ask. There's the kit. There's the kit. Ponalone's got it. Needs to stick it. Oh, Dare knows he's pulled him off. Dare knows he's pulled him off. The movement betrays him. And Dare will have the shot and the pistol round, though no survivors.
Yeah, and Ponalone got caught in the geometry while trying to turn around there and get to the bomb. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. He lost that fight when he missed the shot, and, well, at least he makes it interesting, but Elevate just a firing squad through that smoke, get 2 frags without even seeing the players. Well, maybe they got a glimpse of them as they were shooting through the smoke, but well done. 8th round secured, and Elevate did not lose a single pistol round. 4-0. And that's an important stat to find, especially in BO1s. So, I mean, at any point, BO1s, BO3s, right? I mean, pistol rounds help in MR12.
That they do. That they do. Makes your life a bit of a nightmare if you can't win one.
Oh, yeah. Just to note, Mike, that was Dia's first frag without the AWP in that round.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go. After the strong performance on Ancient, it's been a little quieter here.
I mean, once he got the op in his hands, that's the first half. He was great. He just couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. I also think they will be pretty okay with this. By hook or by crook. A rifle snatched away. Cryptic's trying to keep this alive. And Peeping. It's going right into the fray. Ooh. Man's got skates on. Desperately wants to keep this rifle up. That will not be allowed. Peeping, making some money here. Darty can finally punish, but can he get out of this with anything worth having?
No. They're going to hunt.
They certainly are. USP on, the spot on. And 3 players do make it through into the next round.
Oh, yeah. Making it look easy on the Elevate side. Yes, they lose a body to Brett's USP, but immediately clean him out. Don't let him save a single thing. And 9th round on for Elevate. We're one step closer to that 2-0 on the night against Boston. But will be a 5-1 record. Like you said, Mike, they're sitting at the top of the league with that type of record. The problem for Boss as well is they went 0-2 in their first series against the Party Astronauts, and now might go 0-2 again. So an 0-4 start is not ideal for a team that was exceptionally dominant last season. Cryptic, nice headshot onto Peeping. There's a 5v4, so perhaps some life still here for Boss. I was going to say, that's such a dangerous spot to hold if you're Brett behind the sandbags there towards mid. Because if you lose the opening fight, you don't get anything. You immediately get traded. Ponalone finds one onto Dia. So he got the information, then Cryptic gets Snap.
Good hold on the mid play. That's the bomb down as well. Now it's all just Shane. Looking for damage perhaps, so that's not going to be afforded to him. There we go. The defense is erected here from Boss, and keeping 4 alive is going to be important. They're giving themselves a chance to fight here on Vertigo. So they stiffen up. A mid hold is strong, John.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, Brett goes down without getting anything in the round, but he did get something, actually. It's information, and he relayed that to his team. They knew that a couple of players, at the very least, were trying to push up mid and get onto that B site, and they shut them down at every single step of the way. Not a single player lost outside of Brett for Boss. 1:43 on the clock, and Dare's already pushed out and gotten the headshot on the Cryptic. Upgrades his rifle. Freshie manages to get 2 right on back, and the 3rd on Dare through the scaffolding. Very nicely done. 4v2. What a fantastic time for Freshie to come alive again. He had a lot of those plays over on Ancient, finishing with something like 24 frags there. Was much quieter here in that first half, but that's important to see from him. Snav, though, blindsides him with an AK bullet. Just popped up, shot him, and went back into cover.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Right as he looks away. Fumbling for something there. And now, well, let's see if they can take this a step further. Snaff and Peeping working together. It's Pwn alone up on the committed angle on the box boost. Ooh, and he's going to suffer for it. Smoke goes out. Does Brett want to play ahead of this? He does. The smoke lines them both up and knocks them both down. The bold play delivers results here. And the defuse will follow.
Oh, look, I mean, that's a play that can either go completely wrong or absolutely perfectly, and it went the latter. What a play by Brett. Able to secure the round all by his lonesome. He has struggled mightily here throughout the, I wouldn't say throughout the whole series, but definitely on Vertigo. Only 5 frags before finding those 2 to make it 7. And it's an important time for him to come to life. And along with Freshie as well, who had a 3K before that. And surprised they even ended up in a situation that it was that close, given the work that Freshie did prior to this point. Anyway, there's that 7th round for Boss. And there's that great nade toss. Chonky one. Dare down to 45. Dia and Shane down to 70 apiece, or around 70 apiece. Pwn Alone's going to fire a shot. He has to fade away. Doesn't want to get overloaded by those Tech 9s. A quick play coming through. Brett and Pwn Alone calming everything down. Only one casualty. It's Brett. But it is going to be an 8th round easily for Boss.
So we've gotten right back into this, right back into the thick of things. Investment back in for Elevate, but they're seeing what was starting to look like a bit of a one-sided affair. Definitely changed course.
Yeah. I mean, it's great news for Boss because Elevate really were controlling the pace of play since, I would say, the 5-2 mark, right? In favor of Boss. Elevate were taking full control. Finally, Boss have awoken here.
Cryptic with the boost up. Cryptic with the boost up. Waiting on the hole.
Snap's got to clear it.
They haven't done so yet. You'll see some teams devote a Molotov to it, but resources are scarce this time around for Elevate, so they don't really have mollies to spare. They use nades to clear that out. Oh, there's the check. Can't stick around now. Hail of bullets. And they're in a bad spot. Molotov fortunately extinguished by the smoke, I believe. So somehow they've kept everybody alive here. Despite the boost being rumbled, they've taken some damage, but there's the first casualty. It's Brett. Down and out. Still, 3 players are here, ready to receive. The AWP needs to strike true. Oh, it does great damage. But the kills aren't on just yet. Cryptic hanging on to this side hall position. He's under threat. He's under siege. But he turns in time to at least get one. Molotov will slow this bomb plant down. Smoke to try and cover it off. And Snav is going to play this open. Ooh, that's bold. He does avoid the brunt of the nade as a result of it, though, John.
Yeah.
There's a smoke for this retake. But they're backing off. They're backing off. They're yielding. They're giving. Boss have been conservative on these saves all map. And that's not going to change here.
Yeah, I can't really blame them here because they've made it a lot closer now. It's 10-8 in favor of Elevate, but you also have a ton of money available for Pwn Alone and Darty here. They can buy up for their teammates. You secure at least another buy up afterwards because you don't have to kind of go for that risky attempt on the retake. And hey, you get a free frag because Shane was too close to the bomb. Even Snav and Dia take a ton of damage. You got to be careful of that bomb explosion radius. Anyway, as I was saying, I think Boss are going to be comfortable here to buy up fully and will still have a good chunk of money in the bank afterwards. If it were a more dire scoreline, I might have said, okay, guys, go and try for something. But that was a good call in that situation. Just the T side saves, the 2 in a row. I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah. Well, they're playing the long game here.
Yeah.
And let's see if they can pay it off in this round. Precious few opportunities remain. Everything's going to be valuable now. Into the thick of things. Freshie wants to get frisky. I'll play the Henny spot. Oh, a swing. Good flashbang. Sets him up. Got to be a little wary there. Oh, smoke popper. He's ready for it.
Ooh,
not
it
spotting
pop.
the player.
That's a tough smoke to pop because it spread so far.
I think he was mostly checking to see if there was a player close up that he needed to get away from to save. But yeah, would have loved to have the peek on Dara, I'm sure. Still, they get away with the 5v4. And as we know for Boss, that's so important to them. So they're going to have the advantage early. They're bringing the numbers over as well. With the sustained presence outside a ramp, they're calling Elevate's positioning. Putting the bodies here on A. And they're ready to brawl. Molotov forces Cryptic out. He's going to burn. He's not able to escape. But there's a kill coming back through. Freshie standing and delivering. Eventually taken down. Bomb will plant. There's still a Molly and an HE. They can threaten Shane. There's the Molly. Is it late? Oh, Shane just gets away. This is so messy. But Darty has now just worked his way up along the flank, and he'll clear out both. Nicely done there. Boss capitalize on the early advantage. We'll bring this back within 1.
Yeah, the save pays off there for the Boss side. They're able to keep a couple of guns alive as well. Thing is, Elevate, they get the bomb plant. They've proven to be quite effective on their pistol buy-ups, which we're probably going to see another one here unless they risk it all and go for a force buy, which would be exceptionally surprising. You've got the lead. Sure, it's only 1 round, and they have been very good at getting frags with the pistols throughout the entirety of this series. And yeah, they are going to go for that Tech 9 strat again. I imagine Dia is going to get one as well. No, Dia wants the Deagle. So 2 Deagles, 3 Tech 9s. Those Tech 9s are probably going to indicate a quick push. See if that's up the ramp. Well, they're slowing down a little bit. There is a lurk here in Snav as well. And Snav rejoins his team.
Seems like they're going to keep this pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of options they've got here with the 1 smoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
As that goes, it goes.
Toss the smoke on site. Or use it post-plant if they're that bold.
Pretty far. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine this is a secure bomb plant. They lose the bomb, it won't matter either way. Snav, though, wins a fight.
Where's that smoke,
Molotovs
guys?
go out. They're holding it. They're holding it.
Snav was out with the bomb there, too. I mean, jeez, guys.
There's some risks. But they are baiting out a lot of the CT util. There's no longer nades. There's no longer mollies. So it's not a bad result, actually. There goes the 1 smoke. Now they're going to try and get this bomb down. Condense the angles. Swing on in. Freshie's lining up some sort of god flash here. There's the flashbang. There's the lineup. There's the bodies dropping. 1 for 1 from Brett. Isn't the best thing in the world, but if they can stall this out till this smoke fades, it's big trouble on. Elevate getting those numbers punched in. Here comes the retake, though. They're wasting no time. They will concede the bomb plant, but the round's not in doubt. Still 3 players lost. That's a great result for Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say exactly that. The economy isn't able to really settle in on the Boss side. I mean, sure, we're getting down to the latter part of the map, but, I mean, you keep them on their toes for sure. And Elevate were threatening to win that one at one point. I really love the idea. 1, the smoke, you know, it's thrown with a little bit of a gap, so you're kind of baiting in that push around it if you try to get the bomb plant. And they did fake the plant, pulled back immediately, and then are able to get a 1-for-1 trade. So you think, okay, ooh, that's a backstab. That is a team backstab on the Elevate side. Snav has to start this round with 39 HP, completely accidental. You've got to keep your fingers disciplined on that right click when you got the knife in your hands and you're close to your teammates. Anyway, look, it was a good round for Elevate to do that damage, and I thought they had a chance at winning it, but luckily for Boss, they're able to close it out.
Maybe the blood sacrifice isn't enough here. Freshy doesn't think so. Freshy needs more. More blood! Pwn alone will offer it. And now Elevate. At risk of this spiraling out of control. Pwn alone standing behind the Molotov and delivering. Falls to just Shane and Snav to try and work some magic here. Minute on the clock. So they've got time at least, but that's about it. Smoke out to Cement to put the doubt in their mind. That shot goes wide, but the trade is there. The bomb confirmed. And if there was any doubt about which way this was heading, there's not anymore. Snav against the world. And shockingly, the world will win.
The player who got knifed at the beginning of the round is the last one standing. And yeah, Boss taking care of business. You have to wonder if that type of thing happening just throws your entire team off and your entire strategy off into the round. It felt like it in that round. Just what a shame for Elevate. Boss taking 11, so the damage done in the previous round is pretty much nullified, especially considering they had 4 players left standing out of that one. And they got an 11-10 lead. Alrighty. Round 22. Snav takes damage first in this round, but not from his teammate, thankfully.
It's kind of a team that's of two minds right now, based on the investment, right? Bomb player would go a long way to fixing it. That kill certainly would.
That's overambitious, the peak from Freshy.
Yeah, just overstaying his welcome. Trying to get a resmoke up and leaving himself exposed in the meantime. We've seen Boss struggle sometimes with these early disadvantages. Cryptic gonna fight it back up. Oh, they're not expecting it, but he's only gonna get one. Great trade from Shane, and this is so messy. Boss are committing themselves into this fight, and they're losing bodies. 1-for-1 just aren't good enough here. They need somebody to pull off a play. And Brett, for the moment, is alone. Oh, he's getting so bold. Behind this smoke. Only 8 bullets in the gun as well. Has no opportunity for the reload. So he's gonna need Darty to give him something, and that's just not gonna happen. On to Darty now. Bomb's getting planted. That might coax Darty forward. Snav dropped. It's not done just yet here, folks. There's a kit. There's no smoke. But here comes the swing off the contact. Shane's still close up.
Oh, they lined up!
And Darty knocks him down!
They lined up for him! Darty is handed a gift! Clutches the 1v3. I mean, I wouldn't either if I was in a situation. That was so fortunate that they line up into his crosshair, into his spray. Ay, ay, ay. 12-10 for Boss. And this is when you call a timeout to calm down everything that's happening, right? For Boss, because they're probably freaking out. And they need to give a chance for their team to breathe and absorb the moment and then realize we haven't won this one yet.
Might need to do a little accounting as well. There's plenty of money. They just had to spread it out a touch. After that one comes down to the clutch.
Oh, man.
Does give Elevate a chance to talk things over here, though. A reminder, that was a limited round for Elevate. They didn't have everything they could want, and they wound up getting it just into 1 player alive. So it gets close. It gets close. Now they got to bang 2 in a row here. I feel like Boss isn't a team to sit on their haunches, though, in this moment, right?
No.
So what are we going to see? What's going to be the change-up? What's going to be the tweak to try and get this over the line?
I don't know if they're necessarily going to change things up too much, but I imagine there's going to be some ramp aggression. They're going to want to take that early control away from Elevate. Even though they've already done it prior to this, I think it's going to be even more pronounced to try and seal this one away. Double timeouts taken, by the way. We don't see that very often. Boss took one, then Elevate called one as well. And I thought that serious point that was flashing, it was going to be another timeout called for a second, but no. And it's not serious point, by the way, guys. It's map point. Just so you know, Elevate did take the first map, and Boss in the second one are threatening. Let's see if we get that aggression. Cryptic's going to throw the early smoke. Couple of players charging up. Doesn't look like they're slowing down. Yeah, here they come. They stop in their tracks because of the utility that's tossed by Elevate. Smoked off is Freshie. He's trying to look between the gap of the sandbags. Doesn't really see anything. Of course, that smoke is guising off his vision for now. He's hoping the fade will be in his favor and they won't be watching this. Pwn alone on the other side behind the sandbags is watching for Scaffold.
They're staying aggressive.
Yeah.
They're staying so aggressive.
Yeah.
Pomalone's going to connect on the first. Scaffold player's not there for the swing. Oh, they're not ready for the rifle. They do get the first kill, but Pomaloone able to trade, keeping in the favor. Needs a teammate, needs support. Right now, Pomaloone betting on himself right into the fray, and he is delivering. Wants to seal the deal on this win. Slipping away. Dia and Peeping. Still putting up a fight. Still putting up resistance, and Pomaloone is finally silenced. But there's a flank developing. Darty's been working his way up this whole time.
Peeping's looking
Patient
for
with it. This has happened once or twice. Peeping's patient with it. Well, wait for the bomb plant. Darty knows he has contain. He doesn't need to rush this.
This is smart. It's so smart to wait for the plant, Mike, because you don't have to give away your flank, and eventually you know that one player has to go and commit to the bomb plant, so there's one less body to potentially be watching for you.
It's all a question of who holds their nerve.
Oh,
25
no.
seconds, and Darty wants to make a move. Based on the timer, he thought he had the moment. It's all going to need to be Brett now. It's all going to need to be Brett. Good nade check on the first. There's the tap on the next. They get an audio cue?
I think so.
He's going through the smoke, and that was a risky play that they will check. Elevate, stay alive. Pwn alone might have done enough, but his teammates couldn't chip in to bring this one over the line.
Oh, man, and you know that death that he had, it was a very winnable situation for him, let's say. He had the time to flick around and lock on and get that op frag. It just doesn't happen. He misses, and of course, after that, even though it was a fantastic effort, and I liked the aggression he was showing with the AWP to really lock down all the angles, his team, like you said, couldn't capitalize on the work he put in. So now we are again down to the last round of regulation. This time, though, it's Boss with a 12-11 lead. They want to close it out and make it 13-11 and win their first map of the season, which would go a long way in building some confidence for them. The problem is their buy. 2 MP9s, a FAMAS, a 5.7, and an A1S, and util is very lacking. On the other side, they've got everything, except for an op for Dia, but that doesn't really matter. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. That was the moment, man.
Yeah, it was. Darty didn't have to push up. I get it, right? With 25 seconds left, you figured the angle's been cleared out, but Peeping was so patient, and he outweights Darty.
It's the explosive factor of Elevate. They're comfortable in the gunfights. They're comfortable man down. They just need one player to pop off for the explosive play. We got the boost up here. It's Pwn alone on top of the FAMAS. Smoking late there. Already past it. Did they check the boost? Do they check the boost? Bit of spam damage here. Does Pwn alone hold his nerve? Yeah, nope. He's going to be cleared. Dare's going to get that kill. Cryptic trying to swing off of it. Unable to punish. And now out in the open with an MP9. Backpedaling rapidly here. But good luck getting this one through.
Oh my gosh.
Brad's going to try and bring through a flank, but it might just be too little too late. There's a hail of utility on the site. Cryptic's making a play here. Flashbang on, but not enough firepower. This one's looking destined for overtime. Bomb's going to be planted. That flank is now going to start to be activated, but with 5 players alive, there's plenty of eyes to watch this. Brett, though, will shut one of those.
Almost.
Oh, this is still on. This is still on. The 2-on-3. There's a kit on Darty. And he's going to have to do more work than just defuse. Dia up close. Flashbang to stall him out. A wrap on in. Freshie spots the one. And Shane will silence the other. We're going for more rounds here, John. We're going into extra time.
Yeah, I mean, look, it felt like it was destined to happen. Given the way Elevate had tucked in after that bomb plant, it was just so difficult for Boss to dig them out. They did not show face at all, even with the low HP player hiding behind the sandbags. Just, it was too much for them to deal with. And the util, as was the case at the beginning of the round, really wasn't there for them. So to OT we go. Boss, well, they're probably kicking themselves right now because it felt like at 12-10 they should have closed it out, especially with Ponelon's effort. And then afterwards, there wasn't much they could do given their buy-up, and they didn't win those early fights that they needed to in round 24.
And now the clock strikes midnight here on the East Coast.
It does.
We enter the witching hour. I mean, things, well, they have a propensity for getting weird here, John.
They do. Well, like I said before, Boss really wants to crack that win column this season, and they want to do it early. You don't want to go losing the first 4 maps that you played against teams that you should be beating if you want to consider yourselves a team that's going to compete at the top. Shane, going to get the opener onto Freshie. Takes, actually, it was Dare taking the brunt of the damage. Shane just got the finishing touch. Now the nades go in. No one's behind sandbags, so, you know, better safe than sorry. And they charge up. Cryptic a chance to punish here. And he backs off. Okay.
He does for the moment. He does for the moment. They've got this flank developing again, but they need the front to work, and it's not at all. Ponelon has to get this kill, but it's only a leg. There's the frag coming through, but he's just trying to distract to let Darty get in. He's so stuck. He's so trapped. He's surrounded. He's continuing to fight, but there's too much work to be done. Too many angles to cover off, and not enough. Just not enough. Elevate pulling into the lead after dragging this map back. Now they've got the advantage back in their favor.
Wow, that was a convincing round as well, pulled off by Elevate, especially once they went for the execute itself. Both players just got completely dominated that were trying to defend that A site, and, well, of course, Elevate had no problem closing up shop after that bomb was planted. Dare going to get the nade tossed out immediately. Boss need a better effort than that on the defensive side if they're going to hope to find a win here. Dia just spamming the angle. Freshie's tried this a few times. Just in that tiny gap between the sandbags on ramp, holding it and hoping to get something. It hasn't really worked out for him too much. But eventually he hopes that it will yield something.
Molotovs to start to take some space up towards ramp. Freshie spots, but didn't quite realize there were 2 there. So once again, that position will betray him. Also, Util sailing out. Ponelon trying to thin the herd. Oh, flying into the fight is Brett. Maybe forcing the issue here a little bit. It'll set up his teammate with the trade. Ponelon burning. Has to relocate. Has to reposition. Has to bail. And speaking of bail, Elevate are out of here. They realize, well, there can't be anyone on B right now.
And that frag from Shane makes things even more difficult.
Bomb's coming back.
Yeah.
Bomb's coming back. All right, well, they've just killed everybody. Pick your poison, pick your site, whatever you want.
Jeez, this is, oh my goodness, turning into heartbreak for Boss, honestly. They look so out of sorts now in overtime. I think 2 of their worst rounds on CT side were played here in OT. That's very tough. They are literally getting picked apart by Elevate at every turn. Elevate's leading them by their noses. All right. Still one more round in the first half of overtime for Boss to try and get on the board. Maybe some aggression will come through here towards mid. I mean, we already were seeing aggression at ramp, and 2 players died simultaneously in Cryptic and Freshie in the prior round. They need to find something to build off of. And I think you talked about it earlier on in this map, Mike. When they get that 5v4 is when they actually appear to be way more comfortable, which I mean, of course is normal, but a lot of teams can recover from that 4v5 disadvantage easily. Boss, maybe not so much here.
They do seem to get a little panicky.
Yeah, exactly.
When the round starts to go against them. Timely top stairs smoke. But this is the change-up. We have not seen a lot of B play for Elevate. Not at all. And you can tell. Look at the lean from Boss. 3 players fully committed to the A-ramp fight. Just Darty here. But he is going to catch a player blindsided. Shot onto the next. Not a kill. But Brett's actually accelerated through and towards spawn, which means that there's no mid presence for the moment. Now, this is interesting. Brett's trying to make a big play. But it does mean that the bomb's going to be down uncontested. Brett's going to have a lot to live up to on this flank because now they've settled in. Now they're expecting it. Now they're ready for it. They're wondering why they've had no resistance to this point. Utility's going to start to sail over. And Brett down for nothing but damage. Might have not been enough. Cryptic trying to be the hero here. Gets 2, gets 3. But it won't be enough. He needed them all. And now Elevate get 3 chances to put this map away.
Wow. Just Elevate putting on a Vertigo utility clinic right there. Just the volley of util. Simultaneously, 3 pieces of utility being thrown perfectly by Elevate post-plant in that situation to isolate Freshie in mid. The Molotov, the smoke, and a flashbang as well. It's just absolutely everything you could ask for on the Elevate side, on their T side of this overtime. Going on CT side, now they just need 1. Just 1. Boss needs all 3 to force another overtime. They had 2 map points in regulation, and now their backs are against the wall.
Salvo of nades. Resounding in the distance. They're not being shy about using this utility. Over on the Elevate side. Ayers had himself a strong map. Piecing the board for the moment. But look at how little utility they have. I mean, we're a minute in. They've dumped everything from the Elevate side.
They've done this a lot. They did this on their Ancient CT side too. They really like to get that early util out, and I think the pacing was actually off here. Should have waited a little bit longer to at least keep a Molotov in play. Now they just have 2 smokes and 2 flashes. That's it. 40 seconds still.
A little bit to set up a retake. If one is needed, it's going to be the B hit. Here it goes. Just going to try and do it by the might of their rifles. Smoke up, give some space. If they want to go through, that's a big question, but they're actually wrapping. Flashbang's good. Trade better. And at least for the moment, they're keeping them locked out of this site. Good damage on, all onto Cryptic. He comes down to the clutch. The pistol be enough for Dia. Clearly that's been calmed. I think it was a dink shot on Dia. Does he want to make a move? Cryptic gambles that he won't. But there's the spot. There's the execution. And that will be enough to wrap up our match. Elevate, merciless here in overtime. Had to win 2 in a row to bring us to this point, and 4 more on top of that to seal the deal. Take 2 wins on the night. Move up. I think that might put them in the absolute top of the league right now. Certainly towards the top.
It's definitely towards the top.
And with one of the better win-loss ratios so far this season.
Wow. That is a bit of a collapse from Boss, honestly. 12-10, everything was looking good. I mean, and it felt like after that, Ponalone was the only one who could really get frags for them. Everyone else kind of went quiet. And then 6 rounds in a row, you already mentioned it, Mike, for Elevate as they go 5-1 on the season. And Boss, the team that made it to the grand finals of ECL Season 46, are starting out this one 0-4. I mean, they've got to get a confidence builder. I already talked about it. It's so rough to see them losing the way they are. Both maps were close. Both maps, we saw that that feistiness that Boss brings to the table. Their ability to pull off some strats that are unorthodox, that catch their opponents off guard. It just feels like communication-wise, they're a little lost sometimes, throwing 2 smokes into Donut, as we saw in Ancient. Just in general, the utility feels a little off, and also the movement and positioning.
Lots of moments of panic. It felt like lots of moments of panic, lots of moments of things getting away from them when it gets most heated. When things aren't going their way, it feels like they tend to slide. But I mean, full credit over to Elevate, right? Very, very collected. They're unwavering, right? It doesn't really matter the situation, doesn't really matter the numbers. They're still going to be going through with the game plan. There's not a lot of panic, it feels like, in their emotion, in their comms. Possibly just because they've got more faith in the individuals. I don't know exactly what it would be, but certainly they delivered on that faith tonight here, John.
Yeah.
And now it's time for me to take whatever faith I've got and tuck it into bed and go to sleep. It's a wrap on tonight's ESL Challenger League broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow for more ECL action. Till then, good night. Goodbye, everybody. See you tomorrow.